Many are baffled by Donald Trump's 2024 election win. His past controversies and legal battles seemed insurmountable. Pundits point to various factors. They talk about the economy, inflation, and Kamala Harris. Some cite sexism, racism, or border issues. But these explanations miss a crucial element: the pervasive influence of right-wing media. This media landscape has fundamentally reshaped the political discourse. It has molded public opinion in ways often overlooked. Understanding this influence is key to deciphering Trump's victory. We must look beyond the surface narratives. The conventional wisdom fails to grasp the full picture. It neglects the power of a carefully constructed media ecosystem. This ecosystem operates on a different set of rules. It thrives on emotional appeals and often disregards factual accuracy. It caters to a specific audience. This audience has been primed to accept its narratives. The result is a distorted view of reality. This distortion has profound political consequences. It shapes voting patterns and empowers certain candidates. The traditional media struggles to compete. It adheres to journalistic standards. It fact-checks and strives for objectivity. But these practices are often perceived as weakness. They are exploited by the right-wing media machine. This machine thrives on controversy and outrage. It generates narratives that resonate with its base. These narratives often lack factual basis, but they are effective in mobilizing support. Right-wing media now sets the agenda in American news. Outlets like Fox News, Newsmax, and One America News Network dominate the airwaves. Sinclair Broadcasting, iHeartMedia, and Bot Radio Network amplify these voices. Online platforms like Elon Musk's X, formerly Twitter, and influential podcasts like Joe Rogan's complete the ecosystem. This network is larger and more unified than traditional media. It disseminates information with a distinct slant. This slant often favors conservative viewpoints. The growth of this media empire has been strategic. It started with Fox News in 1996. At the time, it seemed like a minor irritant to established media giants. But the internet boom and George W. Bush's presidency provided fertile ground. Right-wing media began to flourish. It tapped into a growing sense of conservative identity. It provided a platform for voices previously marginalized. This created a loyal following. Conservative billionaires have poured money into media ventures. This investment has dwarfed liberal efforts. The result is a media landscape tilted to the right. This imbalance has profound consequences. It allows conservative narratives to dominate public discourse. It gives undue influence to certain viewpoints. This influence extends beyond news consumption. It shapes political decisions and electoral outcomes. Conservative billionaires have invested heavily in media. This investment has far outpaced liberal spending. The result is a stark imbalance in media power. Right-wing outlets have significantly more resources. They can reach wider audiences. They can shape narratives more effectively. This disparity creates an uneven playing field. It undermines the principles of a free and fair press. The impact of this investment disparity is evident. Right-wing media outlets enjoy greater reach and influence. They can afford top talent and sophisticated production. They can invest in marketing and promotion. This allows them to dominate the media landscape. Their narratives become the dominant narratives. This shapes public opinion and political discourse. Liberal media outlets struggle to compete. They often lack the same level of funding. This limits their reach and impact. Addressing this disparity is crucial for a healthy democracy. Right-wing media paints a stark contrast between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are often portrayed as elitist and out of touch. They are accused of being treasonous or un-American. Republicans, on the other hand, are presented as patriotic defenders of traditional values. This narrative resonates with a specific audience. It reinforces existing biases and prejudices. It creates a clear divide between us and them. This portrayal has a significant impact on voter perceptions. It allows many to overlook Trump's flaws. His controversial past and legal troubles are minimized or dismissed. Simultaneously, Kamala Harris's strengths are downplayed. She is often portrayed as incompetent or even dangerous. This distorted view of both candidates influences voting decisions. Consider a hypothetical scenario. Imagine someone moves to America from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. They have no prior knowledge of American politics. Their only source of information is Fox News. They would likely develop a very skewed perception of Kamala Harris. Section 5. The Architects of Disinformation. Many false narratives that influenced the 2024 election originated in right-wing media. These narratives were often amplified by social media and influential figures. They spread rapidly, shaping public opinion and impacting voting decisions. Understanding the origins and dissemination of these narratives is crucial for combating misinformation. One example is the fabricated story about Haitian residents of Springfield, Ohio, eating cats and dogs. This story started as a Facebook post. It was then amplified by right-wing influencers. Eventually, it was picked up by Trump and his campaign. This demonstrates how easily misinformation can spread through the right-wing media ecosystem. Another example is the claim that Harris and Biden diverted emergency aid from Hurricane Helene victims to undocumented migrants. This falsehood originated on Fox News. It was then echoed by Trump and other Republicans. Section 6. Economic Narratives, a case of selective reporting. Despite positive economic indicators under the Biden administration, right-wing media emphasized negative economic news. This selective reporting influenced public sentiment. It created a perception of economic hardship, even as many economic indicators were positive. This manipulation of economic narratives played a significant role in the 2024 election. The Economist described the U.S. economy as the envy of the world in mid-October 2024. However, right-wing media focused on anecdotal stories of economic hardship. They highlighted individual struggles while ignoring broader economic trends. This created a distorted picture of the economy. This selective reporting is a common tactic in right-wing media. It allows them to shape public perception of economic performance. It can be used to discredit political opponents and bolster support for their preferred candidates. Section 7. Pervasive presence. Right-wing media's reach. Right-wing media is pervasive in many regions, particularly conservative areas. It is often the primary news source for many Americans. This dominance shapes voter opinions and electoral outcomes. It creates an echo chamber where conservative narratives are reinforced and amplified. The reach of right-wing media extends beyond dedicated viewers and listeners. It is present in public spaces like hotel lobbies, hospital waiting rooms, and bars. Fox News is frequently the default channel in these locations. This constant exposure normalizes its narratives and influences even those who don't actively seek it out. Local news outlets often contribute to this pervasive influence. Many local stations are owned by right-wing conglomerates like Sinclair Broadcasting. This allows them to inject conservative viewpoints into local news coverage. Section 8, 2024, a media-influenced outcome. Trump's 2024 win is largely attributed to the power of right-wing media. He is the oldest person elected president at 78, and the first former president to return to office in over 130 years. His running mate is J.D. Vance. This victory underscores the significant role that media influence played in shaping voter perceptions. The right-wing media ecosystem created a favorable environment for Trump's campaign. It downplayed his flaws and amplified his strengths. It demonized his opponents and promoted his narrative. This media support was crucial to his success. The media landscape has changed dramatically since Trump's first election in 2016. The right-wing media ecosystem has become even more powerful and sophisticated. Section 9. Post-election disinformation warfare. Following the election, Trump continued to spread false claims of election fraud. He focused on non-citizen voting, overseas ballots, and early voting irregularities. These claims are amplified by his allies and right-wing media. This disinformation campaign undermines public trust in the electoral process. Election officials have worked tirelessly to debunk these claims. They have provided evidence that the election was conducted fairly and securely. However, these efforts are often drowned out by the constant barrage of disinformation from Trump and his supporters. Pennsylvania has become a focal point for this disinformation campaign. Trump and his allies have targeted the state with numerous false claims about voter fraud. Section 10. The Musk Factor, Amplifying Misinformation. Elon Musk's ownership of X, formerly Twitter, has facilitated the spread of election misinformation. His decisions regarding content moderation have made it more difficult for election officials to counter false narratives. This has further amplified the impact of right-wing media. X has become a major platform for disseminating right-wing narratives and disinformation. Musk's policies have allowed false and misleading information to spread unchecked. This has created a challenging environment for those trying to combat misinformation. The viral nature of social media makes it challenging to correct misinformation once it has gained traction. This has serious implications for the integrity of the electoral process. Section 11. A call to action, countering the right-wing narrative. Rich liberals and influential figures must recognize and counteract the dominance of right-wing media. This is crucial for addressing political division and combating misinformation. Understanding the extent of this influence is the first step towards finding effective solutions. Watching Fox News, listening to Christian radio, and experiencing the news that millions of Americans consume daily can be eye-opening. It provides valuable insight into the narratives and perspectives shaping public opinion in conservative circles. This understanding is essential for developing effective counter-narratives. Liberals need to invest more in media and develop strategies for reaching audiences beyond their traditional base. This requires understanding the values and concerns of those who consume right-wing media. It also requires finding ways to communicate effectively with those who hold different political views.